everyone, and welcome to another Geek and Dorks review. This is for a movie called The Imposter, which was a suggestion from you guys, and boy, am I glad I listened to you guys. You know, I keep a Excel sheet where I have all of your brain scratch suggestions. I have a different tab for Searchlight suggestions, and I've recently made a new tab for these documentary and mystery movie suggestions, and you guys have really kicked in some great ones, and this might be my favorite suggestion so far. So with a title like The Imposter, what could this be about? Well, let me give you the IMDB synopsis real quick, which is really short, unfortunately. A documentary centered on a young man in Spain who claims to a grieving Texas family that he is their 16-year-old son who has been missing for 3 years. And the tagline for this is, "There are two sides to every lie." It was released on the 24th of August in 2012, apparently in Ireland, and did a really good job in terms of the awards circuit. It won a BAFTA Film Award. It won 13 awards and was nominated 27 times. So if that gives you any indication of the quality of this was a very well done documentary. Not only do they have great footage and interviews from the people actually involved, they went and shot additional footage using actors to kind of fill in the visual gaps a little bit. And they even had this one sequence that I thought was really cool, and I wish they would have done a little more of, where they used old television footage. Like all of a sudden they were showing a scene where people were calling police detectives, and they had a clip from Kojak, and it was just really clever to me. And an interesting use of clip licensing that I've never quite seen before. Unfortunately, they only did it for that one segment. I think they really could have capitalized on that idea and maybe done it 2 or 3 more times in the film, but regardless, it didn't need it. What's really captivating about this story, as you can tell from the title, The Imposter, is that is not the real mystery. You know going into this that there is something strange right from the start of this little boy being called into the Spanish authorities. And you know this because they have an interview with the guy that is pretending to be this little boy, Nicholas Barkley. So what's really cool about this is it's almost like it's told from the perspective of the villain. Now they bounce between footage of, I think his name's Frederic, if I'm remembering correctly. Yes, Frederic Bourdin, who is the guy that is basically acting like he's a missing person, and he is an adult. He's I think 23 years old when this is going on, and he's basically acting like he's 16, which is kind of it sounds far-fetched, sounds like something for 21 Jump Street or some kind of fictional property, but this is a real story, and it is just very engaging. As a matter of fact, one of the user reviews says, "A stupefying, quote, WTF movie which puts fictional thrillers to shame." And I really have to agree. There are just some completely unforeseen twists in this. As I mentioned, the perspective of it being told from the villain is really unique. It's not often that you get a story told from that side. And there's this weird thing that was going on for me where you would almost feel bad for the guy, because when it started talking about his backstory and why he was doing these things, he didn't have a great upbringing, and you start to understand a little bit about what might motivate him to do this type of thing. That being said, it was still pretty awful. I mean, if you watch this channel, you know that we do missing person spotlights every week on Searchlight, and I'm always concerned about the families. I'm always thinking about what they must be going through. And to have a family go through a false sense of hope of, wow, the person we lost is actually out there. They're on the other end of the world for some reason, but we have to go find them and bring them home. Just that emotional ride is pretty intense. So the documentary goes into that and so much more. I don't want to blow it for you, but there is a pretty big dramatic twist in all of this. And then outside of that, there's even another mystery that kind of crops up, and in a very brain scratch fashion, it is left to you to determine what you think the truth is. I was literally looking at my wife, and we're just shaking our heads at each other. We're like, no, 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 what the? I mean, it is a WTF movie for sure. So I highly recommend you check it out. I was able to find it on Netflix. It looks like it is rentable on a couple of digital platforms. So if you don't have Netflix, or if you're out of the country, I don't know. I know Netflix mixes up its movies across the world. So if you don't find it for some reason on Netflix, you can check Google Play. I think YouTube even has it for rent for $2.99 or something like that. And it's really one of the better documentaries I've seen, and just a story you're not going to forget, that's going to leave you with definitely a new perspective, and maybe some pretty deep, lingering questions for you to scratch your brain about. All of that being said, IMDb rates this a 7.5 out of 10. Of course, I'll have the IMDb link in the description box below for you. Personally, I edge a little higher on this. This felt like a solid 8 to me. Almost a documentary. It's very rare that these types of documentaries are something you'd want to watch more than once. But I put this in the category of Dear Zachary, where I think with a repeated viewing, you're only going to gain more insight, gain more information, maybe some details that you missed the first time through. I would certainly watch this film again. It is just such an interesting story, and takes such radical turns that kind of leaves you speechless by the end. So I hope you guys will check it out, and if you do, I hope you enjoy it, and please keep those suggestions coming. It's great to have this big catalog to pull from when I go through and check out your favorites as well, and then I find a gem like this. I mean, that's the best. I love it. So thank you so much for joining me on this edition of Geek and Dorks Reviews. I will catch you next time on the Geek and Dorks channel. Take care.